What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. We're going to be taking out the Mackinaw for a little bit, doing a little bit more work on the high-sec mining side of things. Definitely trying to maintain some stability when it comes to this month and all the mining we're going to be doing, hopefully. I think one of my major focuses this month is going to be just doing as much mining as possible out here. Alright. It's been a minute since we've taken the Mackinaw out, but should be pretty chill. I mean, obviously we're going to have to, compress and all that stuff in station, but I'm going to try to keep everything in the mining hold so that everybody can see kind of how we're doing. We've got a decent amount already, about 3.3 or 3,300 cubic meter, about 35 million. Actually, yeah. Looks like a pretty decent belt. So we'll kind of get positioned here and get started. Got no pirate strongholds in the system, which is good. I think we're going to sort this by... We're going to start mining everything kind of in close proximity. I'm not going to attempt to grab or cherry pick, rather. But anyway, it's been going pretty good, honestly. These, I think these episodes kind of moving forward is going to be very, I guess, day in the life kind of feeling. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's like, I guess like a mining vlog, as it were. I think that's kind of where the direction that I'm kind of moving in terms of what I kind of want for this series, because I would love to actually just do this series for, just unending, just for the next foreseeable future. And I think that mining is one of those things that's, very very boring for most people. But I think the goal for me moving forward is just to like really express or demonstrate my day-to-day in Eve, which it's kind of one of two ways right now. I'm doing a lot with the alpha right now, and most of that has to do with getting that tune maxed out as far as skill points go, which allows me to do kind of what I've planned for that tune a lot, would be to kind of just show different cool ships that can be done with an alpha that has basically every skill that's allowed. But as far as the mining guys go, it's been pretty consistent. Alright. What I like about the Mackinaw, though, is I can kind of sit here and just kind of riff and kind of update you guys on everything, and it's not completely stressful on trying to get everything sorted. We can end up going for a while, and before we have to really worry about emptying. But like I said in a few episodes ago, I guess, all the compressed ore that we are stockpiling is getting put on the main, and that's where it's been a benefit to just have all that stuff kind of in a centralized location. It allows me to really quickly see what we've got and in what quantities. I was planning on doing this episode and going out for rare ore mining, but there was none. There's no system or anomalies in the vicinity. I mean, the closest one, I want to say, was like 15 to 20 jumps out, and I tend not to try to travel that far. just because of where I am. If I go too far out, I have to cross Udemy, or however how you pronounce that system, the infamous system that always has like crazy gate camps and stuff. So I try not to cross that line if I can help it. I've crossed it before. I've crossed through that system before with the Mackinaw without any issues. It's just I try not to take any more chances than I have to. But since the Viridian expansion, when they increased the Isogen rare ore by like 900%, I haven't gotten to go out there and actually do any of that mining since then. So that means that that rock density is going to be much bigger. So I'm hoping at one of these days in this week I'll be able to go out with probably the Hulk and maybe take the Porpoise. And if we can find one of those sites that's not really being touched, we might be able to grab quite a bit of that ore. But I've been thinking about taking, if I take the Porpoise out there, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably switch to maybe ore strips or something. We could take crystals, but it really kind of depends. Like, it's not really a big concern taking all the crystals we need for all those rare ores. But if we take like ores or strip ones, then we don't have to worry too much about switching over and stuff. But because I don't want to run B2s on that stuff, and the extra range we get from the ore strip miners will keep us from having to move around too much, especially if there's competition. But even I think running like Type A2s on that stuff with, you know, even the 37% waste chance is especially if there's no competition, I'd rather, like, you know, try to retain that. So I'm probably gonna try to go into rare ore mining and start doing zero residue mining on that stuff. It's probably gonna be the plan moving forward. But that's kind of my my process every day. I usually log in, I check if there's a pirate stronghold, and then I kind of look at the 0.5 systems and see if there's any anomalies close by. If there is, I'll usually go out there in a Dremel and see if there's any competition. Sometimes I'll even check just like the star map and see how many people are in system. If there's like 16 or like 8, or like if there's a good number, then I can pretty much assume that by the time I get there, most of the rocks are probably gone. So it's not always it's kind of stressful too, because like if I find a good, like if I want to do an episode over rare ore, then when I find that anomaly, I kind of have to drop everything that I'm like doing and like be ready to like kind of capture that, which is why we haven't done too many episodes over that, because when I find it, it's usually not enough mining to really justify a full kind of recording for it. Because the last one I went out on, there was, I want to say like 5 or 6 other people out there, so all that stuff went by really, really quick. I'm gonna do a scan here because I'm pretty sure this is a big rock day, because we have not killed a rock yet. We're on Rich Plag, 17,000 cubic meters. That is pretty good. And then we're also on concentrated Veldspar at, it's almost done. I have this showing basically just Plag and Veldspar, because that's usually what I come out here and grab. That stuff is really nice to have. This is dense though. I'm thinking we go out and get this dense. I know I said we weren't gonna cherry pick, but these rocks are pretty good size. Actually, we didn't even have that one targeted. Kill those. That Plag is done. Go Veldspar, Rich Plag. I'm happy with that. They'll let us take a lot of value back with us. Dun, dun, dun. Overall, everything's going pretty good though. I'm still not quite sure when my industry stuff is going to start. I'm still waiting on a few. I got 2 BPOs still researching. I think they have probably, haven't checked them in a couple days, but last time I checked them, they were like 6 or 7 on days on one, and then I think about 9 or 10 days on the other. That's another thing I haven't actually gotten to do, is I haven't actually gone out and got 3 more BPOs to fill up that character's slots on research. But while I'm thinking about it, I might actually, after this mining session, I might actually go take that character over and pick a few and get them in the cooker. Because as it sits right now, if those 2 BPOs that we have get done, they'll give us 4 BPOs that we can work with. But I would prefer to have more. I think we have like what, strip miner 1s, mining laser upgrade 1s, venture, and I think a mining laser. So like the miner 1 for the venture. I think probably out of all those, the thing I'll probably focus on making a lot of first is probably going to be ventures. They're going to be annoying to move around, but they have multiple purposes beyond just mining because of Sino and stuff. All right. 29. Yeah, I have noticed definitely the the fact that these the volatility of these B2s is much higher and the cycles are a lot shorter. I go through these crystals like crazy. Haven't completely run out. Obviously, we still have 34 left, but I suspect we'll use, if we do the amount of mining I want to do this week, I suspect we'll be going through those. And I think that'd be a kind of an interesting metric to follow. So like in this episode, we have 34 with 2 loaded. And then over the course of the next like several days, kind of keep tracking on this. I think that'd be also an interesting test as well, is fill up the, fill up the Mackinaw with all type B2s and then just mine until all those crystals are gone, but like save all of that ore. And the metric we would end up being able to see would be like, how many crystals do we use versus how much ore that we got. And so you'd end up getting a really good number for, you could drill it down essentially to how much ore value you're getting per crystal. Okay, let's see. What I'm gonna do is I'm usually gonna go. I like going to these 20s. I like mining the bigger rocks. I'm used to having a burst on. Okay, we got 15k range, so we can't go. We can't go on these. Can we go plag here? We'll go plag 25s. Because the longer I can keep these guys on rocks, these lasers on rocks, the better. It's not going to matter too much right now because we're going to have to go and empty out here in a second. But it's all good. I think that there is probably more rich. I think if I remember correctly, this belt has like a dense and rich on these corners as well. So when we come back out, we might actually burn over here and scan and see what we got. We can check really quick here. So We got 2 dense feldspar left, 2 rich. Rich is on that side. Dense is on that side. Dense is on that side. But I don't really want to like spend a lot of time moving around, so that might not actually be worth the effort. Especially since we have like 25,000 cubic meter plag rocks, we can just kind of babysit. Should have a couple more cycles here, and then we can head back. So essentially, what I'm trying to do, since I want this to be like the primary series of the channel, I am going to work on scheduling out these episodes pretty consistently. I'm going to try, my goal is to shoot for an episode a day, and my plan is to release those around noon Central Standard Time, whatever that might end up being for everybody else. But I think the point that I'm trying to do is I'm gonna really kind of like try to stick the consistency on when they release. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, we've already got several episodes scheduled out and everything. And even if you don't have notifications turned on, you should be able to get to the point where you can kind of go to the channel at the same time every day and see a new video. But obviously the best way to know when anything goes live is to turn on notifications and all that stuff. So if you haven't done that, that would be greatly appreciated for me. I've been trying to touch on like some of the other things I'm probably going to try to focus on the channel. Like solo mining is essentially going to be the daily upload going forward, and we're going to try to stick that, like I said, very consistently. But I also am going to try to work on smaller form videos kind of intermittently throughout the week, depending on if there's any questions that anybody has or anything that I can explain in better detail. I'll try to make videos or individual videos for that kind of stuff. Oh, look at that. We got 2 rays on D-Scan. Somebody just came in from LoSec taking stuff to Jita. Good times. But going back to what I was saying too is like, yeah, if you have any questions on mining or anything that you'd like me to explain in grueling detail, then I'll probably plan on going through and making a specialized video for that. There we go. We are good. Go ahead. We're going to go ahead and empty this stuff out and then come right back out. All right. We are back out here. Go and get a scan up. I tend to use the survey scanner window to actually target. It ends up giving me a better idea of quantity. It's especially useful when it comes to drone mining. That way, if you're drone mining and you're putting one drone on a rock that has like 25,000 cubic meters, you know that that drone's going to be hanging on that rock for a while, so it'll let you kind of relax a little bit more. There's less moving parts. That's why if I do end up, on days where I end up wanting to do like Orca drone mining or Porpoise drone mining and not bring the exhumer out, I almost always try to make sure it's like big rock day, as it were, because it just makes it a lot less tedious. Small rock day is still pretty significant in terms of drone yield, but it's definitely a lot more manageable and a lot more, side screen friendly when it's big rock day. We've put a lot of miles on this Mackinaw though for real. I'm not even sure what episode it was that we bought it, but I know we've already paid it off, and it hasn't even taken that long to pay off because we're well over $1 billion in what everything we mined so far. That's another crazy thing too is we haven't actually sold anything. Obviously, I have a lot of my other Eve activities to thank for that, in terms of just kind of maintaining Omega and allowing me to save everything that we mine for this kind of fun stockpile experience. But normally, like back in the day, whenever I was, starting off and I was in high sec, because that's, all I knew. I mean, I was selling every ounce of ore daily to, make the wallet happy. And it's just nice to get to a point where it's like we can mine and I don't feel the need to rush to Jita and sell stuff every day. And it's also extremely nice to be able to get a lot of mileage out of a single ship, because obviously, like, the chances of you keeping a ship forever in Eve is near impossible. But obviously, the longer you go with that ship and the more use you get out of it and the more times you've paid it off, it makes that, when that ship does go down, it makes that loss hurt a little less. At least for me it does, because, if I lose the Mackinaw, then I'm like, okay, well, I got my value. That ship paid for itself several times over. It still sucks to lose an asset, but it feels nice being able to have that ship survive long enough to justify its existence. $34. What do we got here? 80% damage on that one, 25 on that one. They're degrading a lot slower because we're not like on 60. It would be like 60-second cycles if we brought the porpoise out. But I've done fleet mining for the past few episodes, so I figured I'd just come out here and run one character, and because I still like doing that. I'm sure there's people out there like, if you can kill a belt with B2s in 30 minutes and make, $30 million an hour, why would you ever want to come out here with just a Mackinaw and unboosted? Well, because it's not really about the S. I think it's like anything else. Some days I feel like doing the fleet thing. Some days I feel like doing the Mackinaw thing. And some days I feel like taking a venture out and, orbiting a rock. I haven't taken a venture out in a minute, though. I probably haven't taken a venture out in, 30 episodes? I'm not even sure if... we could go buy one. Maybe, probably do some low sec. Go back out to low sec. I did low sec for quite a while. For like 2 weeks off and on, I was doing, getting that Jaspid and Kernite. I never liked low sec, and it doesn't really matter like what I'm actually doing, right? It could be like faction warfare or ratting or exploration or mining. It's just like the whole like low sec culture is just it doesn't like align with my my vibe, I guess you could say. Nullsec is like, I've lived in Nullsec for years. And a lot of the reasons why I don't live in Nullsec now is because I got burnt out. Not because of the content. The content is great. Like mining and ratting in Nullsec is some of the best money you can make. Like when I'm normally in Nullsec, I'm doing PI, I'm doing ice mining, Mercoxis mining, ratting with the Tengu or Golem, doing DD sites, exploration, like tons and tons of cash. Make so much of scout there, but kind of like every other MMO in the world, it comes down to politics, drama. I don't necessarily like sub renting or doing any sort of thing like that, because a lot of the time I'm kind of jumping around doing a lot of different content. Well, back then I definitely was. I was jumping around doing, like, I might do like a couple of days in nullsec stuff or go back and do highsec. But it's like, if I really wanted to, like, commit and maintain the politics of nullsec and pay a rent or pay a sublease or something like that, I would have to go out there and do significant amount of things. I'd be forced essentially to go out there and do stuff and export it and sell it just to hold a balance to pay the powers that be. The reason I like highsec is because I'm not pressured to plus up the wallet. I can sit here and hold on to assets for as long as I want, and I don't have a hierarchy of a hierarchy above me to worry about. Because I did the whole null block thing, doing wars and all that stuff, structure bashes and ping timers, fleet pings and stuff like that. It's just, I think it's a good experience if you've never experienced that kind of play. But I knew going into EVE at the beginning that I enjoyed mining. Like, I came from a background of playing a lot of different MMOs, a lot of RPGs, a lot of experience in the gaming space. So when I came to EVE, I was able to, like, kind of dissect what was going on. I looked at the skills, looked at the ships. I was like, mining looks really, really entertaining, which is why I got into it early on. Or just like the the PvE thing in general. I still wanted to experience all the other stuff, and like, since then, I still really enjoy ratting. Like, I actually probably enjoy ratting just as much as mining. The problem is for mining to be worthwhile, you have to be in better regions. It's like DED sites, combat anomalies, and things like that in highsec are just absolutely atrocious in terms of like rat bounties or loot or stuff like that. You can take lower cost ships, but like, for me, I don't really want to rat in like low end ships. I like my Tengu, I like my Golem. I don't necessarily like security missions, even though I do a lot of them on the alpha. Mainly because it's like, go to station, grab a mission, go to this random place, do a random thing, go back to that station. It's like, dude, there's always like that point A to point C, or you always have to come back to where you started. Whereas like doing combat anomalies for ratting in nullsec, it's like, if I just want to sit there and go chain sanctums or chain havens or hubs or rally points, I can just keep doing that, warp from one to the other, and all that income is just straight to the wallet, which is very, very appealing. I will admit though, I definitely have been missing Golem ratting for like a week or so now. It's like, I can't tell you how many times in the past few days I've sat in Cheeto on my main. I was like, I should just buy one. I should just buy my Golem again. No big deal. I'll take it out. I even went as far as like to think, I was like, oh, I'll buy my Golem and I'll go do level 4s. It's fine. It's not the worst. But then I think to myself, no, it is the worst. I really just want to go out to Null and do my Sanctum and Havens to ad nauseum. But I think it's also good to take a break from a lot of that stuff too. It's like with anything, if you mine like a crazy person, eventually you're gonna have a day where you're like, I don't feel it. And I think one of the best things I did as an EVE player was learning and finding what I enjoyed in many aspects of the game that I could bounce between and kind of to break up the monotony. So it's like, if I feel like mining, I'll do that for a while until I'm not feeling it. But then it's like, oh, well, I also enjoy ratting, so I'll go do that for a while until I'm not feeling it, and then go back to do like some data relic sites, just the constant moving. Whenever I started playing before and I was just in the mining headspace, I was just mining. When I got burnt out being in a mining corp, there wasn't a whole lot left to do. So it's like, if you log in and if you log into the game and you're part of a mining corp and you tell the people like, I don't feel like mining today, they're gonna be like, why the hell did you log in? And that goes back into a lot of drama for nullsec and stuff like that. There were days where I just wanted to like, log in, get an Ishtar, and you just go run drone sites. But then the mining corporation I was in was like, you shouldn't be doing that. We don't want you to do that. And I didn't want to be told what I could and could not do, because they weren't paying for my Omega. I was. So it's like, unless you want to pay for my Omega, and then you can't really tell me what to do. Which is that's where kind of the splinter happened. That's kind of what started me down the path of going and making my own corporation and operating in nullsec as a solo heartbeat corporation, producing ice blocks, mining ice and providing isotopes to the Alliance and all that stuff, because it's like, I'm capable of doing a lot, but I'm not gonna have a body of people or whatever tell me what I can and can't do. Absolutely not. Hard pass. So now I kind of just do what I want. If I want to be in nullsec, I'll go to nullsec. If I want to sit here in highsec and mine until my eyes bleed, cool. No one's telling me to do it. Tell myself to do it. And that's all that matters. Which is straight. This whole trip has just been nothing but straight reg flag. Yeah. About 41. But I figure that's, I guess it's like the rant for this episode. But I do enjoy kind of like, updating you guys on the things that I'm doing and everything. And kind of what's going on. But we'll probably, I'll probably finish this load and then we'll call it. And then I think I'm going to start probably looking around for some rare ore in the next day or so. Or actually drone mining. I've been actually thinking about drone mining. I tend to want to do longer episodes for drone mining just because the yield is so much lower. We'll be a little shy of where do we start at, 35 or 33? I don't remember. We've done a bit. We might get close to 44. Another thing I was thinking of was like, I think there was a comment, I don't know where it was, but someone asked me what I would kind of like want for mining if I could like change something or add something to mining. I think it would be interesting to actually have like faction mining ships, like kind of maybe like faction battleships and stuff like that. So it's like, you'd have like let's say like your venture, but then maybe like your ore venture or your ore like faction ore, that might be a little bit more specialized, or like some sort of a faction that modified these mining ships for. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like I guess a faction venture would be cool, and then like maybe a faction procurer. And like they wouldn't have like, they probably wouldn't do faction for the Tech 2 stuff. It would probably be like mining barge. But yeah, be pretty interesting. Don't ask me what I'd want the roll bonuses to be. I mean, like, I would assume like a faction retriever, we would just lean into just like volume. I don't know. That's for the game designer to decide. But following the same kind of mentality of faction battleship to regular battleship, probably. Faction Rorqual. Jesus. It's like the faction Rorqual. It can drone mine. They put a faction Rorqual out that just has the original bonuses of the original Rorqual before it got nerfed into oblivion. Hilarious. I mean, that's another option too, right? If they really wanted to support like the whole drone mining and how it used to be in its heyday, regular orcas could be strictly boost. Faction orcas, strictly drone mining. I don't know. Just something I'm thinking about. All right. Should be the last cycle. I think we'll go and call it there. Go and head over to our compressed site. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace. We got some combat scanner probes out here. And also somebody's talking local, like I'm sure they're trying to be weird. But anyway, we'll get docked up here. Some shenanigans going on. What do we see on D-scan anyway? Combat probes, Vexor. They could also just be like legit just using combat probes to scan normal sites, because they will work. You can, use that stuff. There's no real need to carry combat and regs. Combats do a little bit less on regular stuff, but that's probably the nonsense that's going on. Anyway, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.